Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the final podcast of the week. That's right. This is the final level 1 podcast for the week because tomorrow I'll be playing Elden Ring Night Rain and doing major focus on progress for the launch. So, what I'd like to do today is wrap up all the ongoing topics and things that we've been discussing, including a follow-up to yesterday's big discussion about ongoing lengthy playthroughs and how to handle them. I've gotten some feedback. I like to share some of that with you. Maybe we'll have more of a back and forth discussion about it today. Also, I would like to get some interactivity with you in regards to submissions for things that you have found funny or notable over the course of my 16, 17-year career on YouTube. Right now, we've got a bunch of clips that I usually play during breaks, but I'd like to get your take on what are some moments that you found funny or notable that you'd like to see. So, we'll have a few different topics to discuss today, and of course, the usual chill interactive vibes. All of this and more on the final episode of the week of the Level 1 Podcast. Well, I must say, the overall feedback this week has been the new intro is a hit. People were kind of thrown for a loop when I started using the previous intro. I personally liked having these kind of soulful singers that kind of sounded like a 1980s throwback for my intro for many, many months, but everyone was like, is that really your vibe, Phil? I think this is a little bit more my vibe, and I really enjoy it. I hope that you guys are liking the new intro. Anyway, welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, the 29th of May, 2025. I'm DSP. This is the Level 1 Podcast here on DSPGaming, and it is the final episode of the week. Tomorrow, I am streaming, but as I've been doing a few times over the last couple of weeks, I'm going to skip the podcast to get maximum gameplay in of Elden Ring Night Rain for its launch. For those who don't know, on PC, it launches tonight, which is weird because you'd be like, tonight? I thought it comes out tomorrow. Yeah, it launches at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm going to do it as my late stream tonight, starting around 6:45 p.m. Pacific time and running till around 9:30ish. And then I'm going to do it again tomorrow. What we're going to do is the stream will start around 11:15. I'll jump on to hang out with you guys for a little bit around 11:30 so that we can build up an audience. And once we do, then we're going to jump back into the game and play a good 4 hours of Elden Ring Night Rain. So between tonight's premiere stream and tomorrow's daytime stream, we'll have over 6 hours of Elden Ring Night Rain under our belts, and we'll be able to make some good judgments. You know, I'm actually curious with this game. After that initial gameplay, will it already feel stale? Will we already have seen most of the bosses and most of the map? Because if it really is just one map and you just keep dropping in different parts and just fighting the bosses, you do realize that it's basically going to be very repetitive, and it's going to feel kind of like Fortnite combined with almost like Monster Hunter. And I get the feeling that it may actually lose its hype and momentum really quick. I'm already getting this vibe. I haven't even played it yet. I did play the network test, and I did 2 streams of it. And by the end of the second stream, people were like, meh. So I kind of get that feeling. That's why I wanted to play as much as I could within that launch window while the hype is hot to see what we think, okay? So I can't wait to see what's in store, but I feel like after that initial exposure to what's in store, you know, what are the new bosses? What's the new gameplay elements? It ain't going to be that good, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be one of those games that actually does have a catchy loop and you want to play it more. I guess we're going to find out together. Okay, so anyway, no podcast tomorrow. That means that we need to finish up all of our discussions today. And we have one big discussion that's going on this week regarding the lengthy playthroughs that I've been doing. In fact, someone leaving an incredibly lengthy comment on my YouTube video yesterday of this show actually left some interesting stats that I didn't even realize, okay? So just listen to this. What were my 4 longest playthroughs in the last year? Number 1, by far, Fallout 4, the next-gen run, which is when I played Fallout 4 last year when they had patched the game to have next-gen graphics and upgrades. That one was 64 parts. It ended up being 63 hours and 32 minutes long, and it lasted 96 days, meaning it took me over 3 months to get through the base game and the DLCs that we played during that base game. Okay? What's my second longest playthrough? Well, it depends on what you mean by playthrough, because of a game that I completed, it's actually Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which lasted 46 hours and 29 minutes over the course of 31 parts, posted across 55 days. So that means it took almost 2 months to complete Pirate Yakuza. If you're talking about my current playthroughs, I was actually underestimating how long these playthroughs are. Are you ready for this? Blueprints, I've currently been playing for 48 days. So over a month and a half, we've been playing Blueprints. During that time period, I've made 29 parts, but the thing is, my video parts are longer now. What I usually do is I do one part, take a break, and then do a second part, but those parts are over an hour long. They used to always be 1 hour long. Now they're like an hour and a half long. So just listen to this. We've done 29 parts of Blueprints, but I have played 47 hours and 58 minutes of Blueprints. 48 hours of gameplay of Blueprints already in 29 parts. It didn't seem like that, did it? But it actually is. That means I've played more Blueprints than I even played Pirate Yakuza. But we've played it at an accelerated rate, 48 days versus 55, so it doesn't feel like I've been playing it that long. Now, here's an even more interesting one. You ready? Clear Obscure Expedition 33, which we're continuing today, and I'm going to tell you, as a result of feedback, we're kind of changing the pacing. I'll talk about that in a moment. Clear Obscure Expedition 33. I've been only playing it 33 days, so just a month, okay? In 1 month, I've released 27 parts, and I have played, just listen to this, 44 hours and 55 minutes. So 45 hours of Clear Obscure in 1 month. Again, I think what's happening is no one, including me, is realizing this because I'm making longer parts. Since I'm only doing 2 gameplay videos a day now of each of these longer playthroughs, it seems like I'm only putting out 2 hours, but I'm actually putting out 3 or more. And then you add it together, like, what the? You're really that far in? Yeah, I've played that much of Clear Obscure, if you can believe it. Okay? So, now that we're talking about this, I mean, here's basically the schools of thought that have come out of this. If you don't know, if you didn't see yesterday's podcast, in a nutshell, I'm having difficulty figuring out how to tackle longer games because right now, with my formula and the way that I do things, I'm a variety streamer that juggles a bunch of games. At any given moment, I'm usually playing 1 or 2 major playthroughs. I'm usually doing 1 or 2 chill night streams. Sometimes I'm doing kind of an independent thing, an indie game or a horror game or something tossed in. And usually I have a multiplayer element as well, whether that's a fighting game or an FPS game. There's something in there that has multiplayer to it, okay? Balancing all of those, that's how I've actually been successful. I've said my formula and my situation is incredibly different from everyone else's. First of all, I've been around for 17 years as a YouTuber, okay? Not many other people can say that. My formula works because I appeal to a wider variety of viewers than most other people. Most other people will find their niche, right? That one thing that they're really good at, and that's what they focus on. I'm the opposite. I'm the jack of all trades. When you come to my streams, you have no clue what I'm going to be doing, because I could be doing one of many different things. Now, if you follow my schedule, you'll know when I'm doing the thing you want. And that's why at any given day, you might see a completely different viewership, right? One day I might be playing an RPG and you see one group. The next day I'm playing Street Fighter, you see another group. The next day I'm playing an FPS game and there's a third group. There is definitely carryover between the groups, but you'll notice different audiences. And that's why I kind of retain around the same viewership every day on stream, but the views on the on-demand videos could go like this. Depending on the game and the genre, the audience can grow or dip. I would argue that RPGs that are super lengthy don't get huge audiences, while more action-based games, more difficulty-based games, and newer AAA playthroughs do see a spike in viewership. So I am very different than most other creators. And when people say to me, well, I don't get it because other creators can do this and be successful, I say, yeah, but I'm not other creators. Do you get it? Most other creators started way after me, okay? They had track records of other people they could follow. They had outlines and blueprints and experience and things, and they did things away that already worked. That doesn't work for me. Things that work for other people will never work for me because, number one, I am the most clipped person on the internet when it comes to, oh, let's take every single thing Phil does and turn it into a negative thing out of context, okay? My actual uncut gameplay, on average, probably does anywhere from 300 to 500 views a video, these days. If it's a good big playthrough, I could get 1,000 views a video. But the clips channels that take everything out of context and literally spin it negatively to lie and slander me get tens of thousands of views a video. So every day when I'm streaming and uploading, I'm literally competing with people who steal my content live and upload it before me. So people who want to see Darkside Phil see it from someone else first. There's no way for me to stop this process besides becoming incredibly wealthy so I can hire a team of lawyers to sue those people into oblivion. Well, guess what? I'm not going to become incredibly wealthy and I'm not going to be able to do that. So instead of saying, oh, Phil should just do what everyone else does, I think it's time for people to wake up and be realistic. I can't because I'm not everyone else. I'm not in the situation of everyone else. It's complete mass theft, complete mass crimes being committed every day, and there's nothing I can do about it. If those channels were not allowed to exist, I would be getting all of that viewership. It may not be positive viewership, but I would still be getting those views. I would get more exposure in a more fair way. So it doesn't matter what everyone else does. They literally don't have an army, a community of business trolls who literally steal their content and make money off of it every day. So when I hear things like, oh, well, so-and-so can just play a game nonstop and not quit it for 2 weeks. Why does it work for them and not for you? Because I'm Darkside Phil, one of the most fucked with people on the internet. And until you realize that, nothing you say has any validity. Period. Okay? Basically, what I'm seeing is a couple of different schools of thought. Some people are saying, dude, just skip all lengthy games. All right? Now, listen, I could do that. I could become a guy that sadly just doesn't play any more RPGs because RPGs are lengthy. I'll never get through one. I'll never play a visual novel. I'll never play any game that's longer than 20 hours because anything that's longer than 20 hours is going to take me over a month to beat. Get it? Doom was the exception because with Doom the Dark Ages, I literally made my schedule play it every day so we could beat it just a little over a week. And that one I think did fine for what it was, but you notice that when I played Doom, I wasn't playing a lot of any of the other games that I was playing. Clair Obscur, Blueprints, they all took a back seat. You see what I'm saying? So the way I see it is, do I skip all RPGs and all lengthy games? Because they're going to take too long and you lose the audience over time. Okay? Another school of thought is this. When you play a lengthy playthrough, a game that you know has a ton of content, okay? Try to focus on the story. And that's a big departure. That's a big departure for me. Because remember, I used to do that ages ago when I was a YouTuber that was just on demand, okay? Sadly, what was I going to say? Sadly, with that, I got distracted by someone in the chat. I'm sorry. What was I saying? I got distracted by you guys in chat and I lost my train of thought completely. I got to get back on track. What was I saying? Just quit all games that stare directly at the camera for 8 hours a day? Well, that's interesting. Okay, thank you. So, what I could do is go back to who I was as an old YouTuber. Who was I as an old YouTuber? Well, before I even live streamed, I just made on demand videos, and here was my objective: buy a game, play it as quickly as humanly possible. Doesn't matter how much content I cover, how many missions I do. All I'm trying to do is beat the game as quickly as I can. And once it's done, review it, package it up, return it to GameStop to get my money back. Not really return. What it was the trade-in system back then. If you traded in multiple games quickly, you got like a giant boost, okay? And then on to the next game. Back in the day, I was known as the gaming YouTuber who went through games so quickly that within 1 or 2 days of release, you could watch my whole playthrough, enjoy the game, know if you liked it or not, and buy it for yourself if you liked it or skip it if you didn't. I was used as the guideline of should you buy a game or not. That was the purpose of DSPGaming back in the day. But over time, that changed. People told me they didn't want that anymore. That making playthroughs that are rushed and only focusing on story, sadly, skips most of the meaningful content of the game. How can you truly judge a game if it's good or not if you skipped all the side missions and all the challenging content and only streamlined the story? So people told me, Phil, you're a dinosaur. Phil, your model's outdated. You need to change and update with the times. Everyone today is becoming interactive. Everyone does the side content, talks with their audience. You got to change. So I did. In the last 10 years, I completely changed my model to now be interactive, side content, shout outs, talking, everything like that. And now the games take a hell of a lot longer to beat. Now everyone says you take too long. Your playthroughs are boring because you're doing too much side content. You're over leveled for the main story. So the truth is, the feedback I've gotten led me to where I am today. And now no one likes where I am today. I could have stayed who I was. And then I would have been told, you're a dinosaur, you didn't roll with the times and change. And then if I change, you're also wrong. So that's the difference between Darkside Phil, DSPGaming, and other content creators. Right now, if I listened to the feedback, oh, you should just play the same game nonstop and beat it within a week, I would get nonstop feedback. What are you doing? This game sucks. This game's boring. You're killing your business. You're killing your streams. We're not going to come by till you're done with this game. So for 2 weeks, I'd see no one on stream and everyone would bitch. I'm not dumb. I know that no matter what I do, it's not good enough for the peanut gallery on the internet because I've been doing this for 17 years. I've changed tons of times and it's still never good enough. So that's why, again, I don't listen. I'm like, I'm not going to listen to this bullshit of people demanding things that I know won't work because I've already changed, right? So here's the truth is I don't think that there is a simple solution to anything, but when it comes to particular playthroughs, we may have to make decisions. For example, as of today, I'm making the decision we're going to try to get through the story of Claire Obscure. All right? At this point, even though it's going to be insanely tempting to do the side content, because we've passed by a lot of it, we see it, we're like, man, I wish I could do it. You know it's going to unlock. I think we're just going to have to focus on the story. Let's get to nearly the end. And then before we beat the game, decide do we want to go back and do it or not, depending on how many people are showing up, how many people are engaging, and how many people are supporting. If sadly, we get to this end of the game and no one cares, then I guess we're done with the game. And that sucks because I want to keep playing. I want you guys to understand I love this game and I want to get as much out of it as I can because I'm having such a good time. But that doesn't necessarily translate into what viewers want and what's good for business. And this is a problem. People say things like, Phil, you should just do what you want to do. You should just do what you enjoy and do what you love. And that passion will come through and you'll be successful. That's not always the case. Not always. People say to me these days, why do you keep playing Yakuza games? Don't you know they don't do well? Well, because I like them. So I still play them. Oh, well, that's a horrible decision. Then on the flip side, I get yelled at. Why aren't you playing things you like? Like, wait, what? So that's what I mean. There is no solution with me because the position I've been put into is one of no matter what I do, I'm wrong. The internet has actually been programmed to believe that. Right now, the internet actually thinks I'm terrible at fighting games. I was terrible at Doom the Dark Ages. I'm terrible at every FromSoft game. I'm terrible at everything I do because that's what they're told through illegal clips channels. And that's all that they see because that's what YouTube pushes to the forefront of the algorithm. So when you say, do what this other successful person does, do what this person does, doesn't work for me. I could literally emulate the most popular streamers on the planet, no one would give a shit because I'm Darkside Phil and I'm not in that position. I can't copy anyone else. I'm a unique dude. That's why I've been here 17 years and I'm still here and I'm still successful. But it also means I can't follow the trends and I can't do what everyone else does. It doesn't work for me. Okay? I appreciate you saying that, Gars, because some people sometimes are very nice. Like Gar says, no, you are still decent at Street Fighter 6. And other people are like, well, no, you're not that bad at this. No, I know. But that's the point I'm making. No one believes it, though. Like, everyone knows if you actually watch me play fighting games, I'm pretty good at fighting games, right? Everyone can agree there. If you've watched me play fighting games, instead of just watching the clips channels, you know Phil's actually pretty good at fighters, has insight into them, has good knowledge of them, and should be listened to when it comes to fighters because he knows what he's talking about. But most people don't know that because they don't watch my content. Get it? They watch other people's clips channels. So there you go. Same thing with Doom. I was not bad at Doom the Dark Ages. I wasn't great, but I wasn't terrible at all. Watch the playthrough. Very few times did I even have difficulty. Maybe 2 challenge rooms really pissed me off. Outside of that, I cruised through the game on the harder difficulty. Wasn't a problem. Anyway, so here's what we're going to do. Today, starting today on this stream, we are going to just go through story content. I'm actually leaving wherever I am because I know I was in the middle. I think we just finished a side content dungeon. We're leaving that and we're heading straight to the story. So we're going to go right to there's 2 story parts to do that are available. You pick, I'll just pick one. We'll do it. We'll pick the other. We'll do it. And I believe that when you beat both of those, you actually end Act 2. Then we'll be in Act 3. We'll continue the story. We'll keep going until we get to the point of no return. And when we hit that point, then we'll decide, how is the playthrough done? Has things gone well? Are people showing up, engaging, and supporting, right? And then if they are, well, then we'll spend more time and we'll go back and we'll do all the side content that unlocked that's challenging and fun to do. But if the playthrough's dead, then it's dead. And we just finished the story and we're done. We've already played 47 hours of Clair Obscur in a month. I've loved every moment. It's definitely going to be one of my Game of the Year contenders. It's sad that, sadly, people won't allow me to play it at my own pace and enjoy it. But what can I say, right? And then you have people who say, oh, well, it's because of this. You should have played it at a harder difficulty. You should have done this. You should have done that. Please bite me. There's always an excuse why DSP isn't good enough. It doesn't matter what difficulty I play a game at. Look what happened with Doom. I played it on the harder difficulty. Phil, you still suck. So fuck off. No one cares. Really. No one cares about every little silly, stupid gripe you have about Darkside Phil. You all don't matter. What matters is those who actually show up and engage and support with my raw content here on the channel. Not the clips, not the consensus of me on the internet. All of that is white noise that doesn't matter. That's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. It doesn't matter about anything outside of what's broadcast or uploaded to this channel. None of it matters to me. It doesn't affect me in the least, positively or negatively. I just need to find enough people to come for the core content to watch and engage and support it. And then I'm good, right? And that's why a lot of these streams are doing well. And I'm happy for that. But it does upset me when I'm genuinely enjoying a game and having a great time with it, and it's not resonating with the audience for some reason, okay? And that's what's happening right now with Clair Obscur. When we played it 2 days ago, everyone quit the stream. We had less than 150 viewers on YouTube, and I only made $37 of support for a over 4-hour gameplay segment. That's terrible, okay? Straight up. That's terrible. That's one of the worst streams I've ever done. And it really sucks. And there's nothing I can do about that. I can't make people enjoy the game as much as I am. So all I can do now is say, all right, fine. We're just going to streamline it. We're just going to go through the story and we'll see what happens and go from there. Now, I want to make this abundantly clear. If people show up, engage, and support for Clair Obscur in the story we're about to do, and they support it, I will play it longer. I will do the side content, which I want to do. I want to be challenged. I want to have to parry. I want to have to do all this stuff and not just steamroll through a game. But I got to have people buy into it. I can't just be doing it for myself. You know what I mean? So let's see how it goes starting today. How will this stream go? We're about to find out. Okay? Shout out to Soul Potato 07, who's been a member for 24 months. He says, how are you? I'm personally good. I'm actually in a pretty good mood. I'm excited because I get to play Clair Obscur. We're going to try Night Rain tonight. The next few weeks are going to be insane. We've got the launch of the Switch 2, updates in Street Fighter 6, Summer Game Fest, Xbox Gaming Showcase. Other things are rumored to happen right around there. So you're going to have shadow drops and special games being released. Then we've got Mind's Eye, Death Stranding 2. Like, June is insane. June will be absolutely packed with content for gaming. So I am 100% excited. All right? Okay. Let's get to some other shout outs. So I got a $2 tip. This person says, I feel you. The audience going back and forth can lead to frustration. You don't always get the results that you want. Have you considered taking charge, making decisions without the audience, and using analytics to course correct? It's famously said the audience doesn't really know what they want until they are led to it. Be bold, I believe. That's old Phil. That's old DSP. That was me saying, I'm playing this because I want to, and you'll like it. And if you don't, you're wrong, because I'm the one who knows better, because I'm the successful YouTuber and you're not. So watch my content or don't, but I'm the one in charge. That used to be my old attitude back in the day. Then people yelled at me and said, Phil, don't you understand? That's the opposite mentality that you should have. You are supposed to be listening to your audience. You're supposed to be taking in feedback. You're supposed to be changing with that feedback, doing what people want. You are a content creator that provides free content, and you're expecting people to watch ads and support you via Patreon and things. And you can't have that if you're not doing what the people want. So you have to listen. You have to change. You have to be interactive. You have to do all this stuff. So I said, sure, let's do it. Let's change. And I did. I became fully interactive. I became a social streamer rather than just a gamer. I started doing lengthy playthroughs, all of the content. I did everything I was told is how you're supposed to do it. Here we are in 2025. Phil, you're doing it all wrong. So again, I can't win. No matter what I do, it will never be good enough. You understand? Because that's the situation I'm in. So I get to the point where I just don't care anymore. Like, I'll just do it however, but I do need to find something that's going to work for games like Clair Obscur. Okay? Someone tipped $2. He says, please get over your fear of emulation. It's very easy to do, and you can play more classic games that are well established and respected. It'll get more views. Look at the YouTuber, the professional. First of all, no matter what I play, it's not going to equate to more views like you think. Again, I'm a unique situation. You got to understand that. Now, it's not that I'm afraid of emulation. Let's be honest. I think some people have this misconception that Phil's afraid that he doesn't know how to do it, and it's not going to work. It's going to crash. All right. There's two factors involved. Factor number one, I'm the kind of guy that likes to lay out a schedule and say, I'm doing this then, this then, this then, this then, adhere to that schedule so everyone knows what's going to happen, and then be there for it and do that content. Okay? With emulation, I don't know if it's going to work consistently all the time. And sadly, I don't have time to troubleshoot and mess around with tech. I just don't. Look at how long it took for me to smooth out my setup when I upgraded in January. Why do you think I was so apprehensive about migrating from my old 10-year PC to the new one? It took like 3-4 months to work all the bugs out of the setup. So now we can consistently stream every day without something turning off. And even now today, that still happens sometimes, right? So now imagine I'm trying to get into emulation, and emulation is definitely something that's finicky, that you need to tweak per each game in each situation. It's not, oh, here's just an emulator and here's a ROM, load it in, play. For some games it is, yeah, SNES, but for anything past that, there's a lot of things you got to work on, all right? That's number one. I'm not saying it's not viable or it's not feasible. I'm saying, man, it would be tougher because it would mean me having to get savvy on something that I really don't have a lot of time to get savvy on. Or else, every time I go to do emulation, you may have, well, guys, I wanted to play this game today, but it ain't working. Now we got to mess with this for an hour on stream before we can even play, right? That's number one. Number two, this is the other factor. Emulation isn't legal unless you already own the game or the rights to the game, etc., right? So let's say, for example, people are like, will you emulate this game on PlayStation 1? Sure, but technically it's not legal. Now, I'm not saying that I would get into any kind of problems, but as you know, and I keep explaining this, I've already said it like 3 times on this show today, I am Darkside Phil. I am not every other streamer. You understand that? I'm not. I'm different because at every waking moment that I do anything, I have tens of thousands of idiots, obsessive losers on the internet stalking me. So if I play emulation, there's a very strong chance that I would have thousands of people reporting me to various different places saying, hey, did you know that Phil's playing this game on emulation? This could be illegal because he probably doesn't have rights to do it. And that could send people after me. That could send people after my channel. That could send people after, the business at large. There's a lot of risk factors there. And I know you may say, oh, that's just ridiculous. You do understand that when I was going to play GGPO, which is the way that the fighting game community plays fighting games online, there was actually people who were like this, like fucking super villains. They were like, well, good thing no one told Phil that you can use an IP sniffer with GGPO, and the moment you match with someone, you get their IP address. And the moment that they got it, they were going to DDoS attack me nonstop so that I couldn't stream, to the point where I was going to have to get my cable company to come out here and change my IP address again because it's not a quick fix with my cable company. Didn't you know that there was an actual employee at my ISP who was resetting my modem on the daily and was changing all the information in the modem and turning on my wireless network to say insulting things about me to my local neighborhood? You're aware of that, right? That's the extent these weirdo losers have gone to mess with me in my life. So it stands to reason that something that's safe for everyone else, like playing on GGPO, doing emulation streams publicly, is not safe for me because these people are fucking nuts. I would not for a second believe that if I did emulation, that they would go to Nintendo, they would go to Sony, they would go to the publisher of the game, they would go to YouTube, they would go to this, that, and they would file false copyright strikes and takedown requests and this and that and try to fuck with me. So that's why I really don't mess with emulation. If there was a tried and true, safe, guaranteed way to do it, I'd be okay with it. But everyone knows it is a gray area. 99% of people get away with it because no one cares. I'm the guy who'll get screwed because of these people on the internet. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Again, I'm not like everyone else. I can't do what everyone else does to be successful. It doesn't work for me because I'm Darkside Phil. Get it? Okay. You cannot find the last podcast. It's right here. The last podcast right here. Are long games viable for playthroughs today? Discuss the level 1 podcast. Yes, from yesterday. It's live. It has over 900 views because people wanted to talk about that topic. It was a hot topic. So yeah, no, it's live. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to see it. It's live right now and there's no problems. Thanks for the $1 tip. And I got a $3 tip. Oh, this is hilarious. Listen to this. This I didn't know about till this moment. This is the $3 tip, anonymous tip. Occasionally on a fighting game subreddit, you'll see someone making a post totally distraught at losing to you online, how you're considering quitting the game since they lost to you. Sometimes they even mention watching the detractor vids of you playing, saying said fighting game, and they assume you lose all the time and think you'll be easy. You're way better at fighting games than they give you credit for. Yeah, they're morons. That's what you call those people, morons, because they just believe everything they're told. I'm actually good at fighting games. You have to understand this. There's other people out there who are considered in the same realm as me that aren't good at fighting games, like LTG. Like, he legit sucks, all right? 99% of the time, the reason he wins is because he finds some abusable strategy, easy mode shit day one. After like a few months of a game, he always sucks at them, okay? So now he tries to play a fighting game, and he loses 80, 90% of his matches, and everyone laughs at him. When I play fighting games, I literally always win more than I lose. Even at games I'm not good at, like Street Fighter 6, I still win more than I lose. I never have a losing night. It's like it rarely happens. In old school fighting games, I dramatically win more than I lose most of the time. There may be an exception, like last time I was trying to play P-Groove, which I don't even know how to use. So I had to basically take my licks trying to learn the groove. But most of the time, if I'm doing something I know about, I dominate in old school fighting games. So, excuse me. Yeah, I'm actually good at fighting games. And that's the funny part is idiots on the internet like this moron on KickChat who I just permanently banned don't know that because they don't watch me play fighting games. They watch the clip channels. They watch the negative highlight channels of the rare times when I'm losing a lot and I rage or I get really angry at the netcode or some abusable tactic some scrub is using. And that's what they focus on, and they act like that's the majority of the time I'm playing when it's not. I'm actually winning almost all the time. Go check the track record. You'll find it out, but you actually have to watch the content, not just some no-load loser who steals my content and misrepresents it on the internet. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me because, again, that's why the FGC doesn't like me, because they group me in with guys like LTG who actually legit suck and don't know that I'm actually good at fighting games. So then the people who play me lose all the time and get fucking upset about it because they don't realize that they lost to someone who's actually good. Oh, let's see here. Luigi Mansion in the house did a 100 knock super chat, which, as we know from track record, it's like $9.60, something like that. He says, if you save a bald eagle, does it mean you save a little piece of America? Well, it would mean that you're saving the national bird. I do believe that there are bald eagles that actually aren't in America too. Like, I don't think that bald eagles are limited to just like the United States of America, if I remember correctly. I think it's $9.63. That resonates, so I'm gonna put that on the leader. They're limited to the continental US. So not just the United States of America, but basically this land mass, right? There are some that are in other places too. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I would say if you do something relating a bald eagle, you're doing something inherently American. There you go. All right. Cool. Now, there is one thing. So for the record, really quickly, okay? Today, Clear Obscure, major stream right after this podcast, focusing solely on story. That's it. We're going to make major story progress today, see how far we can get. I'm hoping to get through Act 2, start Act 3, and we'll go from there and see how well we do. Please stick around, engage, and support this stream. Why? We're trying to hit our goals, obviously. We want to hit our goal milestone of 90 goals. Right now, we're at 86, so we have 4 goals to hit. Once we hit 90, it is DSP Tries It, the How to Train Your Dragon menu from Burger King, including a new Whopper, a new fries side that's kind of supposed to be spicy, a new drink, and a new sundae. And I want to do it. It's going to be great. It's going to be, I feel, interesting like the Minecraft meal was. Only this time there's actually new products to try rather than just repackaged stuff. So I think it'll be a good one. Let's hit those goals. Let's make it happen. The other factor here is that the 100-goal marathon is coming. And, you know, the timeliness of it being next week, you know what I'm saying? Makes sense. I want to hit 100 goals by next week. It's going to be hard to do if we don't even hit 90 goals this week. So please support the streams. Let's hit the goal on this stream. Even if you don't care about Clear Obscure, please support the podcast before we swap over to the gameplay. All right, can we do that? Please, let's get some support in here. How about our first sub over on Kick today? How about our first membership on YouTube? Let's get some support. All right, so Clear Obscure on this stream. Tonight, Elden Ring Night Rain premiering on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Tomorrow, there's no podcast. We're going to jump right into gameplay. Around 11:30 a.m., we'll start hanging out for like 15, 20 minutes, and then by noon, we start. 4+ hours of Elden Ring Night Rain. Tomorrow night, Friday Night Fights returns. More Capcom versus SNK2 action. I'm off from streaming on Saturday. When I return on Sunday, more Elden Ring Night Rain on the day stream and Minecraft on the late stream. Then we see what happens. There's going to be more Blueprints, more Clear Obscure, more Minecraft, more American Truck Sim. All that stuff next week. And then, of course, the next week, well, we'll see. Because it really depends on how things go. Switch 2 launch, I would love to do for you. But right now, I'm not sure. All right, we have to see what happens. It's kind of up in the air, depending on how things go. Cool, just wanted to check on something. Okay, so we'll see what happens in regards to the Switch 2 and the launch. Right now, nothing's a guarantee, so that's why I'm not talking about it. I'll let you know, all right? And we'll go from there, okay? Cool. A couple more contributions came in here. I got a $2 tip. It's a shame you can't play some classic bad games and have some fun with them because they never get re-releases. A couple of suggestions, maybe one of the mini consoles like a mini NES or SNES, but those games are actually good, or playing some bad cheap ones on Steam to have some laughs. I mean, again, it's the viability of it. Number one, are they available to play, or do you need emulation, which I can't really do? Number two, are they games that anyone would care about and tune in for? You know, I like the idea of playing a variety of bad games to get some laughs. I do. Sorry. A lot of stuff is happening right now that has nothing to do with my stream. It's distracting the crap out of me, and I apologize for that, obviously, but I can't help timing of stuff, so it is what it is. Okay, I added that $2 tip, correct? We got another $2 tip here. Oh, really? Well, now someone see, and now who knows what to believe? Someone just tipped $2, says, I suspected the person who mentioned a Reddit thing is trying to bait you. I searched Darkside Phil and DSP in the subreddit. I don't even know what this means because I don't use Reddit. And I got no results. That's a LARPer trying to bait you to rant about that subreddit. I don't even know what subreddit you're talking about. I don't know. I just respond to what you guys say, and I don't even know what I don't use Reddit. I don't even know what the fuck a subreddit is. I don't. I don't know how it works. All right. There's one other major thing I want to talk about today. Okay. So, as you guys know, since I upgraded my setup and I changed things around, when I go on a break, which is usually either at the end of the podcast or it'll be like after I'm a big chunk into my gameplay and I take a break from when like my wife comes home from work or whatever it may be, I usually will play some clips. The clips that I have are a running playlist that I've now been using for a couple of years. All right. Some of it is newer stuff, some of it is older stuff. It all depends. Like some of these clips were made only like maybe 6 months ago. Some of them were made in the last couple of months. Some of them are 9 months old. Some of them are several years old. Okay. So these clips are fun and funny and highlights of my history. However, I've now been using this playlist for like, 3-4 months straight, and the clips are getting old. You're seeing the same clips over and over, right? So, what I would like to do is make a new playlist of clips. But what I need is your feedback on what things should be clipped. What gameplay moments from famous playthroughs of mine have you enjoyed, right? The thing is, there's only one of me. There's many of you. So you guys will probably have way more ideas and feedback and things than I would ever come up with from the things that I think are notable from my playthroughs over the years. All right? So here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to make a thread. Let me show you where it is so you understand how to do this, okay? So right here, this is DSPGaming. See it? This is the channel right now on YouTube. This is the community tab. It's funny because it's the community tab, but they don't call it that anymore. They call it posts, okay? So here on the posts tab, I'm going to put up a post. Okay, so here we go. Hello, everyone. I am seeking your feedback and input regarding my most funny, notable moments over the years. I currently have a running playlist of highlights that I use for breaks during streams, but it's gotten stale after several months of use. I'd like your feedback on what I should add to keep things fresh. Please respond to this thread with nominations for moments that you find notable and funny. Please include the name of the game or series it's from, timestamp of the moment if you link a video, and a brief explanation of why you think it's funny and should be included. I'll check this thread from time to time, so thanks and good luck. Pretty straightforward, right? Nothing too crazy or complex. What I want you guys to do is respond to this post and post up links of things that you found funny over the years. A lot of people say, hey, Heavy Rain's your best playthrough. Okay, why? Link a video in Heavy Rain, give a timestamp, tell me why that's a funny moment that should be included. Now, I know we're going to have idiots who are going to post up dumb shit, but that's why we're asking for this information ahead of time so we can review it and actually find good stuff. All right? So hopefully out of this, we can get a few dozen more funny moments that we can add to the playlist so it seems fresh, as opposed to just the same clips over and over and over. All right? So here we go. I just posted it up. That is on the posts tab of the DSPGaming channel here on YouTube. Please go over there, respond, and let's see what you guys can come up with. The more the better. But if you post up dumb shit, like purposefully just insult me or, some horrible thing, expect a nice ban. Because you'll deserve it. And trust me, people will do it. They probably already have. I'm not even kidding. They probably already responded. Okay. All right, guys. So that's the topics that I had to talk about today. If anything, the fact that we are now going to be focusing solely on the story of Clair Obscur, I hope that makes sense. I hope that you will stick around for that, and hopefully it's entertaining. If it's not, I'm sorry. I wanted to play the game at my own pace and do side content, but it seems like it's not viable. We've got to get through this game, and hopefully things will turn around. I actually legit hope that today things turn around. We hit the support goal. I can maybe long term, once we get to the end, actually take my time to go back and do some side content. But if not, I tried. I honestly did. Okay. All right. So, guys, what would you like to talk about this morning? Do you have any further feedback or follow up to what we've been talking about? Or you have other topics you'd like to talk about? Please tag me in the chat and we'll go back and forth here with a little bit of conversation. Or any contributions that come in, I will shout out. How about this? Let's get our first sub and first member of the day right now. We've got some super chats. We got a few tips. Let's get some contributions. All right. Let's also get someone to beat the biggest tip being $2, right? Let's get a $5 on the leaderboard at least, for goodness sake. Okay. All right. So what would you guys like to talk about today? Oh, by the way, it looks like I didn't update the schedule at all last night. Let me do that right now. I must have forgotten. Because last night I had to do some extra new stuff. I had to make the new Elden Ring thumbnail for the stream, and I did some extra work, and then I forgot to do this. So here we go. VR says, if you end up getting a Switch 2, what games would you like to get with it? Mario Kart World. That's the only game for it. Switch 2 has one game at launch, Mario Kart World. You know that, right? Literally every other game is a third-party port or another game that's already been out. There's nothing else to play on it. There's one game at launch. So I'm playing Mario Kart World at launch if I get the Switch 2, and then I'm waiting a month, and then in July, I'm playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. And then after that, I'm just waiting until the next new game. There's no games for this console. It's just truth. I'm not exaggerating. That's the actual God's honest truth. There's nothing to play on it. They're launching a console with one video game for it. They're literally expecting their launch to be third-party ports that you've already played or ports of games you've already played on the previous Switch. Like, wow. It's not a lie or a twist of any kind of truth. If it has no games, why buy it? For you, I don't know if I can answer that. The only thing I can think of to say is, if you really like Mario Kart, if you've been waiting to play third-party games on a Nintendo console, that's it. For me, it's a lot different. I'm a content creator. The fact that to have it on release day, right? To be able to unpack it, to be able to hook it up, to do that live coverage of the launch of the console, to give you my opinions on what I think about the new Joy-Cons, the battery life, how the graphics are on it, how it runs, the online connections and capabilities of it, right? And then to play Mario Kart World, to tell you my opinions on the first new Mario Kart game in over a decade. Yes, it's actually been over 10 years since they came out with a new Mario Kart, if you can believe it. All of that has tons of value for me as a creator. It doesn't necessarily have tons of value for you to buy a Switch 2. Get it? Sidious says, would you be interested in doing, instead of longer playthroughs, like special streams called like Wildcard, where you just try a bunch of indie games? Listen, we were doing that. We were actually doing indie nights, remember? Earlier this year, I played games such as Mouthwashing, the one about, what was it, Kiosk, the horror food game. What else? We did a bunch. A game about digging a hole, Balatro, Arcade Simulator, whatever that was called. I can't remember. No, Coin Game. That's what it was called, right? And others. But then people said, play Disco Elysium. So I did, and that took over a month, and we didn't even get that far in, and then people said, quit it. So I did. And since then, we haven't really gotten back to having indie games in the rotation, because I've been playing chill games like Minecraft and Truck Sim. I guess you could argue Truck Sim is an indie game. So yeah, I would like to have indie games back in the rotation. I just got a $3 tip from Star Facts. Not gonna lie, Phil, this sounds like a bad cope. You are lazy every time I give a suggestion. No, it's that you refuse to use your brain to put yourself into my shoes. This is a huge problem with the actual new generation of people on this planet. People have grown up now in a generation where they're told, you're entitled to everything, instant gratification, you're a special snowflake, you're better than everyone. I don't know why. I didn't grow up like that. No one told me that when I was growing up. Okay? But everyone seems to feel that way now. on this, all younger people are of this weird entitlement mentality, right? So now it's like, so we made a suggestion and you're not doing it, so you're lazy. No, you made a suggestion. I literally concretely outlined to you why the suggestion doesn't work because I'm a different case than the other people you're referencing. Oh, well, you didn't listen to me, so you're lazy. I don't like you. No, use your fucking brain. Put yourself into my shoes for 10 seconds. Imagine your dark side, Phil, and you have to put up with all the shit that I do. And you have all the adversity thrown against you that I have, but somehow you're still persevering because you're not doing these things, right? That's what you need to do. But it seems like there's a whole generation of people that don't have the ability to do that anymore. Instead, it's my way, my way, my way. Oh, you didn't do my way? Wah, wah. Well, that's not how to go through life because you're not going to be successful. You're going to find yourself weighing quite a lot if you don't listen to what people say. I'm telling you your suggestions don't work, and I'm factually outlining why. That's not laziness. That's, hey, I've been there, done that. I know what works, what doesn't. Here's the deal. I know that a lot of these things people suggest, sadly, if I emulated something right now, I would have people knocking on my fucking door saying, yo, you broke the law. Don't you get it? I'm different than everyone else. Sucks that I'm in that position, but I'm telling you as concretely as I can that things aren't as simple as you think. You think life is so simple. It's not. Especially for someone like me, life's very complicated, and I have to dance around certain issues and treat things a lot differently than others do. Maybe you don't want to believe it because you're part of that group. Maybe because you're actually part of the group that derides Darkside Phil and makes his life miserable. And you don't want to believe that, right? It ain't so bad for him. Actually, why do you think that I have to do things so differently than everyone else in my life? Because of these fuckers, because of these weirdos, you know? Zangief says, you might actually be the first person to get jailed for emulation. The detractors are insane. They send legions of letters and calls to Nintendo and others. It's obvious. I mean, you're right. You're legit right. I believe they would do that. Again, these morons who say things like victim mentality don't understand what I've actually been through. It's not that I want to be that way. I factually am. Get it? Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making my end all be all that. If you don't notice, I don't really bring it up, but it's true. It's still happening. If I ignore reality, that would be more crazy than to not. You know what I mean? So it's just people don't want to believe the fact that everything that they've said and done has led to a really toxic, crazy internet movement against me to fuck with my life. But it has, and it's their fault. But they won't take any actual responsibility or blame for it. They refuse that. Oh no, you know, all those videos where you said horrible things that I didn't do, but you said I did them. Didn't you think that would actually turn into something someday? That not everyone gets the joke or not everyone cares that you're just trying to make a dime, but instead people will go crazy and believe you. And now people actually hate me because you're a disingenuous fool, an irresponsible person who should be in jail for what you've done. Don't you think that all these people who over the years, over the last decade, who have every single day slandered me should be held accountable? But they're not. YouTube allows it. The law doesn't, but the law can only be selectively upheld by those who are rich. That's the truth. The law says all this stuff that people put out about me every day actually is illegal. But the only way to enforce it is for me to be rich and to have lawyers to slap YouTube and these people with lawsuits. And I'm not rich. So I want you to think about that, how messed up that is. We actually have a system where anyone can say and do whatever they want, and they're perfectly protected unless you're rich. Then you can go after them. If you're not rich, every law doesn't matter because anyone could violate the law and no one cares. There is no one policing the internet for this stuff. Pretty messed up. No, you have no idea how the legal system works. You don't. I would have to be very, very affluent to go after anyone for anything. Just a single court case takes thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars and takes sometimes years of time. And that's a single court case. Think about how many people are doing this to me on a daily basis, right? So I could go after the big fish first and then go after the small fries, but I'd have to literally have like endless money, hundreds of thousands of dollars to sue these people. And I don't have it, nor do I have the time. I'm a hard worker, right? I'm streaming 5 to 6 days a week full time. I don't have time to be sitting around with lawyers and in court. Who'd be on top of the list? Whoever makes the most money, because that's how you do it. You go after the person who's making the most money on your back, and you take their money, and then you move on to the next down the list. Until finally people realize, oh shit, it's not viable to do this anymore because Phil is actually destroying everyone who does it, and then it ends. But just take a look. Just take a quick look. For example, the whole thing that went down with Billy Mitchell and Carl Jobst, I think is his name. So Carl Jobst, who was a beloved YouTuber for years and years, saying all this stuff about Billy Mitchell. And eventually Billy Mitchell sues Carl Jobst and says, dude, you just can't just say whatever you want on YouTube about me. That's illegal. You have to have actual factual justification for what you're saying, or else you're breaking the law. And Carl Jobst kept going to his audience and saying, well, Billy Mitchell's in the wrong. He lied here, he lied there, finance my court case. He lied here, he lied there, finance my court case. Guess what? He lost his court case because he sat there defaming Billy Mitchell over and over and over and over. So Billy won, and now Carl Jobst owes him a ridiculous amount of money. You know, and that's the case. But look how long that took. Look how long it took for that to go through. That was an ongoing thing for years. Years. And that's one case. That's because Billy Mitchell had his one biggest troll. Okay? You know what I mean? Now imagine me trying to go after the thousands of people, right? Here we go. Hyperfixate just did a $10 super chat. Billy Mitchell is making a career after suing people who have slandered him. You can do the same. I would start with detractors doxing already, like Alton Cider, who steals your content every day, and then the rest. I don't even know who that is. Okay, I don't. I literally don't. But you're right. There's literally an entire ecosystem on YouTube based on defaming Darkside Phil on a daily basis. Like I said, the Clippers actually get insanely more views than I do. They steal the content. They will have clips of this podcast on their channels, which is illegal. You can't just clip someone's content before they have a chance to upload it themselves. That's actually against the law. You can't do it. You can't. Sorry. There's laws against it. If you waited for me to finish my broadcast, upload the videos myself, and then you clipped from the videos, that's allowed. You legally cannot put content out first as someone is doing it live. It's not allowed. Right now, this work I'm doing is a copywritten work. As it's live broadcasting, it's protected by U.S. copyright law. If you take anything from it, you've broken the law. So anyone who does that, you're in the wrong and can be sued into fucking oblivion at any given moment. Exactly. They can do it because there's no repercussions, because YouTube doesn't care unless you file a lawsuit. Hence, you need to be affluent in order to actually have a legal defense against this kind of behavior. It's really fucked up. Anyway, I guess Hyperfixate is technically our top super chatter today. No, they're not hiding behind fair use. That's what they say, but it's not fair use. You understand that? It's literally not fair use. It doesn't matter how many times they say it is. It's not fair use. They could easily be sued and lose, but they don't get sued. That's why they get away with it. YouTube should have a system where they have employees, actual humans, who are well-versed in the copyright law, where you can say, hey, someone on your site is actually violating copyright law right now. Stop it. And they should look at the case and say, yeah, they are. Shut down the person doing it, shut down their channel, and that'll be the end of it. But YouTube doesn't care. All they care about is their own asses. So the only way they'll ever take any kind of legal action against someone is if you sue them. If you sue them with a lawsuit, then they shut them down. So that's it. And I'm not rich, so I can't do that. Someone tipped $2, says, what's your biggest regret as a content creator? And what is something you don't have any regrets for? My biggest regret as a content creator, I would say, well, here's the thing. There's things that I regret, and there's things that I'm sad have happened, but I can't control. Okay? I regret back in the day being so brazen, being such a shit talker, and essentially saying things that were irresponsible that I know probably hurt people. All right. When I was starting as a YouTuber, sadly, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't realize that my words had weight and that things that I could say and do could actually hurt other people's feelings, reputations, etc. I didn't get it. I thought the whole thing was a joke. I thought, why would anyone care about DSP making stupid, shitty videos on the internet? Right? Now, I realize 17 years later, those times back in the day when I actually had clout and my words meant things, that I probably said and did things that were pretty harmful because I didn't have anyone to follow. No one had walked before me in those footsteps. I didn't have someone to learn from. So I basically kind of fucked a lot of stuff up, Really, I did. Think about how I handled certain things in regards to relationships, my friendship with John Rambo and how that fell apart, the way I behaved during that time period, stuff like that, Those are my regrets. It's sad that things turned out the way that they did because I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. Now I've learned, and in situations and experiences, I know, for example, if I'm ever going to get into a long-term situation with someone, I got to have a contract in place, firmly agreeing to what everyone says is the right thing to do in the situation. So there can be no feelings of, sour grapes at the end of it, right? No one will feel like they're being not appreciated or underpaid or whatever it may be, right? That's my problem. Back then, I didn't get it. I thought this was all just a big joke and messing around. And, a lot of the times things got messed up because of that. Okay. So that's probably one of my biggest regrets. One of the things that I'm saddest about that is not a regret because it's not something that I've done is the fact that people who ever try to associate with me or be friendly with me, a lot of the times get a lot of harassment from the trolls on the internet. Like just because someone comes by my stream and says hello and contributes doesn't mean that someone should then now stalk them all over their socials, go to their YouTube channel and post up nasty comments, try to dox and harass them and their family members. And that happens on the regular. I'm not kidding. It happens actually on the regular. So that's really messed up. But sadly, that's just nothing that I can really do. Sadly, I'm not doing it. I'm not causing it. That's just the mental illness of people on the internet. Because the truth is, that doesn't affect me at all. I want you to think about that. So someone just happens to come to my stream, hang out with me for a couple of weeks. They're a nice person. They contribute a bit. You go harass them in their own personal life. Okay? How exactly did you affect me? You didn't. But you still did it. Because these people who do this messed up stuff on the internet, it's not that they're doing it because it makes sense. They're just nuts. They do it because they're so mentally incapacitated from being a real human. They actually feel like, oh, I got a piece of worth or value because I ruined someone's day today. Because I did internet harassment today. I feel special. I'm serious. These people actually feel good when they hurt others. They're broken inside. They're not focused on doing good things for themselves. They're actually focused on hurting others and making sure others don't have good things for themselves. So it doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, I know this happens. I hear news stories about it every day, and I feel sad, but there's nothing I can do about that because I didn't create that situation, nor can I do anything to solve it or fix it. That's just ill people on the internet doing messed up stuff, Now, what's something that I don't regret at all? Well, I guess the question is, what do you think it is that I would say there? Because, what, really, I'm curious, what you're getting at with that question, that phrasing. I don't regret being someone who does stuff differently. I don't regret the fact that I've persevered despite the fact that everyone tells me I do it the wrong way, yet I'm still here. There's a lot of things I could say, but I don't really know what you're getting at with that. It's more about what do you regret, not what you don't regret, I got a $2 tip, and this person says, even if people mess with you for doing emulation, others will back you up and support you, saying that's bullshit. He gets in trouble for that and defend your right to play emulated games on stream. No, they won't. I'm the meme. Don't you get it? That's the point I'm making. I can't do the things everyone else does because even though what you're saying makes rational sense, they won't do it anyway. Because making fun of DSP, making Phil the butt of the joke, saying Phil's a horrible person, a horrible gamer, a horrible streamer, brings in views and gets money from a group of mentally ill morons. It's proven time and time again. It doesn't even matter who does it. It could be a Joe Nobody. They'll get views, attention, and support for hating on Darkside Phil. So even though you might say, hey, Phil's in the right, it's more profitable to say, hey, Phil's in the wrong. So that would never happen. I'm serious. It would not. Just take a look at Kino Casino. They tried to do it differently. They said, oh, look, literally everyone says Phil's always in the wrong because that's what's profitable. So for once, let's actually do opposite day. Let's say Phil's not that bad, Phil's in the right, this and there. And they tried it for a while, and at first it worked, and then within a few months, it stopped working. So they went right into the exact same fucking trope as everybody else. And it works. You see? No one can actually be an individual when it comes to me, because if they do, they can't be rich and make money off of losers. Because that's all it is. At the end of the day, the vast majority of people who hate on me are just there to milk this crowd. This people who apparently have money and are really dumb and are willing to just hand it over. The vast majority of people who crapped on me don't give a crap about me. You understand? They crap on me, but they don't actually care about me. They're only doing it to milk a very susceptible, a very gullible audience. I mean, I can't believe that side scrollers did it so much. Again and again and again. Every time they brought me up, the morons would go over there and throw them money. Dude, side scrollers doesn't give a fuck about me at all. As soon as Craig found a way to make different money from a different crowd, he doesn't bring me up anymore. Why does he need to? You see? But they don't understand. They're so simpleton-minded, they can't figure this out. Here's hilarious. Some troll tipped me $1 and is trying to say that I didn't understand the Billy Mitchell call job situation. Yet everything they just said in their tip, I never literally said anything about on my stream. You're a fucking idiot. Keep your troll dollar, you fucking moron. Hilarious. No, count reboot. It's like I just said. I can't ever do a successful clips channel. I can't. If there's something that's highlightable in gameplay or on a podcast, yes, that I could do. I could edit that out and put it on my channel, and it'll get a few thousand views, which is a lot more than what my typical video part would get. But I could never actually do my own clips channel because people illegally clip my content while I'm still broadcasting and have clips before I can make them. When I'm live on a stream, I can't clip myself and make clips. Get it? I have to be offline to make clips. They've already clipped it. So there's no point in having my own clips channel when they've already stolen the content. Dan Zach did a $5 super chat says, are you okay, King? I'm great. I'm great. Everything's fine right now. I just really want this stream to do well, this Claire Obscure stream, you know? I want to finish the game and have people actually come by and hang out and do stuff. Have a good time with me with a great game, rather than it being just about what's new or hot or the game that I suffer at or whatever. I want to be able to enjoy myself with games and have people along for the ride who will enjoy and engage and support that effort. And Clear Obscure makes me worried because here we are 47 hours into the game, having a great time, and people have stopped showing up for it. I've heard of this game, Deliver at All Costs. I don't know what it is, though. Yeah, I've heard of that game, but sadly right now, I just don't have time for any new games. We have too many games we're already juggling. I have to get through them and finish them before I can start talking about new games. Because every day someone's like, did you hear about this indie game? Did you hear about that indie game? I can't play any new games. We got to finish Clear Obscure. We got to finish Blueprints. We got to get to Night Rain tonight. We're doing chill streams of Minecraft and Truck Sim. And we got a fighting game in the mix. We got other games coming up. We got the Switch 2 next week. I can't play indie games. There's no time for it. You know? I get it. People like to see me jump in and try new stuff. I can't do it. I'd have to clone myself. Thanks for a $2 tip. Someone says, use ChatGPT to get ideas. No, ChatGPT is not going to help me with anything. AI doesn't know diddly dick. All it does is it scours information from the internet that's already public. So innately AI answers can't ever give you anything but common public opinion. Can't, because all it does is it's taking what people of the public are saying on the internet as the consensus fact because a lot of people have said it. It doesn't mean it's right or true, so I don't think it could ever help me. Here we go. Someone just tipped $2, says, speaking of people that harass donators, once I sent a $1.50 super sticker, then I got harassed on my channel for a week. I feel like some of these people really have nothing better to do. It doesn't make me stop donating. I just keep it anonymous, and I support the GOAT of YouTube gaming streamers. Well, thank you. I don't know who that is. Certainly not me, but thanks. No, I get it. Like, a lot of people say, oh, anonymous tipper, and they act like it's not real. No, why do you think people anonymously tip? This is exactly why. Because when people do a public super chat, then these idiots go over to their channel and harass them. So a lot of people have stopped doing the super chats and instead they anonymously tip. And it's a good reason that they do, you know? That way they can't be harassed. I am interested in Mind's Eye, yes. At first I didn't even know what it was, but once I researched it and I found out that it's a game made by former GTA devs that's supposed to be like GTA, I'm fascinated. Like, I'm fascinated. Will it be good? Will it be a train wreck? I think either way, it'll be something to try and fun to play. So I am going to try it out. We'll see if it's any good. It might be horrible, in which case we can laugh at it together, right? Will I actually watch How to Train Your Dragon? Well, I've never seen the actual movie, the original animated film. I guess I'd have to do that first. I don't know. It's Disney, right? So is it Disney? Is How to Train Your Dragon Disney? I don't even know. No, it's DreamWorks. Oh, DreamWorks is Shrek, right? Okay. I wonder what that would be on then. Like which service, which video, you know, which of the 1,000 on-demand video services. Well, what do you mean by that? Cydia says, content creators who saw behind-the-scenes footage of Mind's Eye have called it out for being a rug and pull game. What do you mean by rug and pull? What are they pulling the rug out from? Yanks fan, yes, my wife and I did see the live-action Lion King, and we didn't really like it. We think the animated is much better. Yeah, I heard Battlefront 2 is making a comeback, but I never really liked it, even after they rebalanced Battlefront 2 to make it a non-card game. Remember, it was a card game for a while, which was the most bizarre choice. You earn RNG cards or whatever. But anyway, I played both that and after they rebalanced it, but it didn't really resonate. The audience didn't really like it. If it were like, I guess you could get it on like probably Steam now for cheap or whatever. I bet you could, right? What the, dude? What? Yo, they are charging $40 for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Are they out of their minds? The game is like ancient. The game came out November 2017. And they're charging $40 for it. They're absolutely insane. What is going on? Well, I said I would have maybe tried it, but I don't think I'm going to get it now with that price tag. That's ridiculous. Pickleball? I've never played pickleball, no. I don't know what the sport really is. I've heard of it, but I don't even know like what it is, so. What's up, X Shooter? How are you today? Let's see here. More tips are coming in. $2 tip. ChatGPT is nice. You can give sympathetic advice and listens to how you substantiate your arguments if you push back on stuff. What? It's not real. You're arguing with a synthetic. Forget it. Thanks for the $2 tip. It can't sympathize with you. It's not real. It doesn't have a personality to give you real sympathy. It's all simulated. Get it? Oh my goodness. I got a $4 tip from Star Facts. What? Here's another idiot. Like, they're actually regurgitating a detractor meme that's not true. So thank you, $4 fool. Here you go. Fool. $4 because you're a fool. They actually repeated a detractor meme saying that it was true. It's not. Okay. JDTV did a CHF super chat. I have no idea what the CHF is. He says Battlefront 2 is way cheaper on PS5 and there's no cheaters on there. Swiss francs. So that's the equivalent of $2.42 as a super chat. The Swiss francs. Not to be confused with ballpark beef francs. All right, guys, last chance. Anyone have any last-minute topics you guys want to talk about before we get ready for Claire Obscure? Cydia says the CEO of Mind's Eye is quoted as saying anyone who says anything negative about his game is an influencer secretly paid off by Rockstar. Well, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. I cannot wait to receive my insanely huge bag of gold doubloons from Rockstar once I play Mind's Eye. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. Apparently, last time we played, I defeated a boss without taking any damage, and I got an achievement for it. Oh, I don't know. Someone says, what advice would you give Wings to better his life? I have no idea. I don't follow the guy anymore, so I don't know anything about his life anymore. You know? Really, like last I knew about him, he was still with Lolcow Live stuff and doing really well. I don't know what's going on with him anymore. I don't follow him, so I can't. You can't give advice to someone if you don't know their situation. So, really, I don't know if I believe this. Someone sent me $3 and said the following. I asked ChatGPT to say something nice about you. It said, Phil Burnell, known as DSPGaming, has shown impressive dedication to content creation over the years. Despite facing a lot of criticism and challenges, he's remained consistent and continues to produce content regularly for his audience. That kind of persistence, especially in a competitive and often harsh online environment, is commendable. It's clear he has a loyal fan base who appreciate his passion for gaming and commentary. Like, I'm not saying that I disagree with that statement. I just don't believe that ChatGPT said that. I don't believe that ChatGPT said that at all. That sounds like something a human wrote. All right, guys. So, quick reminder, all right? There is no podcast tomorrow. And I know some people will be upset at that because you like having a podcast every day and you like having a podcast at the end of the week. But tomorrow, I'll be focused on playing Elden Ring Night Rain. So, no podcast. The next podcast will be Sunday morning. Okay? Fair enough? All right, how about this? I got an idea. Tomorrow morning, there will not be a podcast, but during the build-up to the Night Rain stream, when I hang out with you guys for like 20 minutes or so, I will tell you what the 100-goal marathon will be. I will finally reveal it. Okay? There you go. All right, that's tomorrow morning. So you got to be on time. Don't miss the big announcement of what the 100-goal marathon will be. You've all been being so excited to find out what this is. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you for watching the show. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you have a great weekend. If you don't come back until I do another show, it'll be Sunday morning. All right? But thank you all. I still hope you'll stick around for Claire Obscure. I hope that you'll check out my Night Rain coverage. And I will see you soon. Be safe. Have fun. See you Sunday morning. Peace out.